You love it when I do it like that. You love it when I move it like that. You loving everything that's about me.
Hey guys, it's Naj, and today I want to talk about Black featurism in the media. And what made me want to do this video is seeing the pictures, the comments, and all the tweets from people, and even the Instagram live video from Ari Lennox that surfaced. Now, I know I am a couple weeks late, but I've been reading and hearing a lot of different opinions. You know, some more valid than others, I must say that. And I kind of just wanted to give my point of view and also start a discussion with all of you guys and hear y'all's point of view as well. Also, I think this will be a great way and a great opportunity to address the media's fake love for Black women. Now, I just want to make a quick disclaimer before we jump in. I believe that everyone is entitled to their opinions. Don't get me wrong, feel how you want to feel. But I feel like we all need to be mindful that our opinions doesn't mean that they are always correct and or even valid for that matter. And opinions, yes, they can be very much harmful to others to a certain degree. But based off of our own Black history, I think that it's very important to protect each other when we are voicing our opinions, especially when it is publicly shared. I really think that we need to protect each other's minds, feelings, and just our overall thoughts, and remind each other of how our qualities and features are what makes us so golden and magical as a race. And this is important because if we tear each other down, y'all, we are given the okay for other races to continue to do what they've been doing and diminish us as a race and as people. We're going to make them believe that we believe all of their prejudice and racist thoughts are okay, correct, or even validated, which that is and will never be the case. Okay, so y'all just be mindful of your opinionated comments and protect our own people, right? Okay. Now, I do have some important questions before we jump in that I would really seriously love you guys to answer down below in the comment section because, again, we need to have a thorough conversation. So, y'all, I really want to know, to what extent do we as Black women have the right to express ourselves freely and openly, like on social media, for example? And do you feel our self-expression that's based on triggering comments mean that we are exposing insecurities? Or do you even feel like our self-expression that is based on triggering comments, do you feel like it's validated at all? As you guys probably know, featurism is like a subcategory of colorism, and majority of the time, even in a lot of cases, we unknowingly don't even realize that we all collectively contribute to the problem. And yes, Black people, we too are the problem, okay? And I'm going to get into why I say that in just a minute. But as far as Ari Lennox go, now we all as Black women with their typical, nigga features, should be very much offended at the Rottweiler comment, point blank, period. Because although the disrespectful comments were directly aimed at Ari and Tiana and not like, Leisha and Bianca from down the street, it was still indirectly directed toward every Black woman who has similar features. Now, let's be real. If that's how they feel about women with means and like a certain social status, imagine what they think about your average basic Black woman with strong features. And it is very much telling that women are outraged at Ari and at other women for defending Ari because they feel like she's just being sensitive and emotional, which her response is definitely 100% validated if you ask me. And they also feel like it's not their problem. And not to bust your bubble, fellow Black girl, it is all of our problem, whether it was directly aimed at us or not. It's all of our problem because it was indirectly directed towards all of us. And if for 1 second you even catch yourself publicly agreeing with such hateful comments, or you think it's so funny, then that is definitely a reflection of how you view your own sisters and even how you view yourself, for that matter. Like, I'm sorry, I don't find those comments even relatively funny because it does stem from deep-rooted hate and insecurities. Like, you're sitting there convincing yourself that because your nose is slightly slimmer than Ari's or your cheekbones aren't as defined as Tiana's, that maybe, just maybe, this doesn't apply to you and that you're even prettier than that. But no, I'm sorry. Yep, you're definitely wrong. And as far as Joe Budden's insecure comments, it's like, okay, had it been a less racial, stigmatized, if stigmatized is even a word, situation, I would understand Joe, his point of view, right? Because yeah, we should never let anyone see us sweat. Not saying that we should always be so strong, but we should always have a level of like nice, nasty responses that we replace either obnoxious, angry, or emotional responses with. You know, always keep our cool, but make sure we don't take nobody's shit, is what I mean, right? Like, don't ever give anyone, especially these internet trolls, the power over you and your emotions and even how you view yourself. And that's just period. However, in a situation like this, a sensitive one for that matter, Joe, I seriously need you to have a seat, and several at that, okay? Because Ari's emotional outburst is definitely needed. It is. And why? Because again, look at our history. Look at how long it took for our people to be represented, right? We have all of these black amazing people on, television shows, just they have their own platform that back in the day we never had access to. So yes, there is a level of representation that we are finally getting. And this is why certain comments are just completely like, all right, guys, we're taking definitely like 10 steps backward, right? And I feel like we as black people, we should understand her anger. And even if those comments did trigger some of her deep-rooted insecurities that she's been dealing and battling with, that is something thousands of black girls and women can relate to, which is again why I say her frustration, her emotions, her tears, it's definitely needed, because thousands of black women can relate to that, whether it's the insecurities or whether it's being put down for features that we were born with, that we were told growing up are completely ugly and not beautiful, right? I feel like her emotions were needed. Her tears are not only her own tears, but many of other black girls. I feel like, guys, when does the stereotyping and hateful comments cease? And if it's not going to cease, when does it diminish even a little bit, And Joe Budden, as a black man, instead of throwing that black woman under the bus, because a lot of our men have a terrible habit of doing such, instead of having our black women's back, they rather just point the finger at them. No, we shouldn't do that. That shouldn't be a thing, guys. No, please. It's like they want us to be, the stigmatized, strong black woman so bad. But no, I'm sorry. When you're continuously tearing down my natural features that I was born with, something that I cannot change without surgically, adjusting myself, and you're trying to convince me that I look like a fucking dog, it's definitely 100% going to be triggering. I don't care how many ways you try to look at the situation, it's triggering, okay? And not all the time can we be so strong, especially when it's our own people attacking us, guys. And I feel like that's what people fail to realize. Yes, we are strong as a race. Look at all the things that we've look at all the situations and obstacles that we have overcome. But then when it's your own black people trying to take several steps backward, it's like, okay, guys, something has got to give. And if my strong energy and personality isn't enough, you're going to bring this side out of me that you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys, no, it's triggering. And I don't feel like all the time black women should always be strong. Instead of men always wanting women to hold themselves accountable for triggering responses, why don't you use your platform for the protection of your people, right? Why don't you use your platform for holding others accountable for even triggering such responses out of black women, right? Like, it's disgusting that I even have to take note on this, but it's so disturbing and unsettling to me that it's always our own people who are so hateful for each other, right? What is there to prove that you don't have similar features to those two women or every other average black woman out there that definitely share those features? Like, do you think that makes you more appealing? Like, I will always fail to understand the ignorance. And just very quickly, I just wanted to piggyback off of what YouTuber Chrissy said in one of her videos, because I think it's very important to note since it does tie into this conversation. And it's seriously the truth, and it just makes you want to just look at the situation from a different perspective. It's always black on black crime, black on black, just beef going on. But you never see a white man, or just white men in general, comment on a white woman's nose that stick out too much, or even white women agreeing, for that matter, right? Or Asian men commenting on the slantness or lack thereof of an Asian woman's eyes, an Asian woman agreeing with it. Like, you rarely will ever see that on social media. But for some reason, Black people, we feel so comfortable with tearing our own people down. And it's just not a good look at all. And I do need to comment that it does go both ways for Black men and women being compared to dogs, because I do see it. I do see that as well. Just like we have Tiana Taylor and Ari Lennox being compared to Rottweilers, we have people like Lil Baby and just other people being compared to pit bulls, right? And it's not okay. Don't get me wrong. It is not okay for Black men or Black women to be compared to fucking animals, because it's just like, why are we even comparing our people to animals in the first place? Like, was getting compared to monkeys back in our day not triggering enough for us to not also be almost conditioned to continue with the animal comparisons, right? But I do want to say that when people compare Black men to dogs, it is slightly different. And there's slightly a less offensive connotation that's attached. Don't get me wrong. It is still disrespectful and offensive, however way you may put it. But for men, it's like a little less of a negative connotation to it, because they're men, because it's something that's masculine. And you would even see women in the comments saying, you know, that that's something that attracts them to the person that's being compared to the dog, right? Versus a woman, we know damn well it's just blatant disrespect. And y'all know there's not even the slightest bit of positivity in those comments, which is why I'm doing this video solely for Black women, right? Nobody ever stands up for us. And it's almost easy and second nature for a lot of people to come for Black women, especially dark-skinned Black women. Nobody, no race, no sex, nobody has it more difficult than a Black woman in America, even still today. And guess what, guys? It's 2020. And speaking of fake love, I do want to quickly mention the fake love that social media give, especially to dark-skinned women. Because, especially American dark-skinned women, right? You see men, even women all over the internet, always bigging up dark-skinned women like it's a trend almost to support. And love dark-skinned women. They just love dark-skinned women so much, right? But per the post and the pictures that they attach to these, you know, celebratory comments, it's almost like a trend and a pattern that I do see, right? Y'all do realize a woman that is seen as beautiful on the internet is either very, very dark, is a very, very dark-skinned women from Africa, you know, like Lapita, for example, women with exotic looks, for example, super dark-skinned but has type 3 hair like Justine Skye, or just dark-skinned women with European features, right? You will never see the everyday average dark-skinned woman that lives in the States. You know, the type 4 quote-unquote nappy, full lips, big nose, dark-skinned women. You never see that type of woman that we actually see every day, the women that we fall in love with, the women that we actually give birth to. We never see that type of woman being celebrated. It's almost like there has to be we have to give, right? And that's even telling. Like, why not support and publicly show love to the woman you literally see every single day? You know, the woman that raised y'all in y'all own homes, again, the woman that y'all give birth to, you know? And forget the type of dark-skinned women that is portrayed as beautiful. Like, instead of supporting and celebrating exotic-looking dark-skinned women, support your average, everyday woman. Like, I just don't understand why that's such a, you know, hassle. And I'm not saying that we never see, you know, your common quote-unquote nappy-headed dark-skinned woman with full lips and big noses being celebrated on the internet. Don't get me wrong. However, it's not as common as exotic dark-skinned women that's not even from America being celebrated in America, if that makes sense, right? And on social media. And let's just talk about why all of this love is also imperative to broadcast on the internet, but for the most part in real life, right? when you see Moesha, you know, with the nappy natural hair at Walmart, or Raven with the big natural hair at work, these are the women that get side-eyed, right? Or if the average dark-skinned woman is celebrated, there always has to be a level of compensation. Like if she has the nappy hair, but at least her butt is big and she has like a natural Coke-shaped bottle, or she may be real small and petite, but at least has a head full of 4C hair that touches her lower back, then that's okay. We can celebrate them. Again, another thing is that these women are only celebrated on the internet. In real life, we get side-eyed, you know. In real life, we don't even get these compliments. We don't get celebrated like this in real life. That's why I say, for the most part, all of this is a show. Guys, this is why I say featurism is just very, very important. Like, you have to always keep in mind and be mindful that we do have dark skin. And I'm only saying dark skin because I feel like this is who gets attacked the most. Us as Black people, yeah, we always would have our fights no matter what. As long as our skin is a little bit pigmented more than others, we're going to get harassed, bullied, and looked down upon, of course. But I want to make this video solely about dark-skinned women, especially because, guys, we have to protect our people, and that's the people who get attacked. That's people who are getting attacked, right? Featurism is important. We have all of our young women growing up seeing these things, right? This is why I say representation is so important. Featurism is so important. And I feel like all of the hatefulness, the comments, all of this, it needs to end now. We need to support the women we actually see on a daily basis, not only on the internet, but in real life too. And stop only celebrating these exotic dark-skinned women that you'll rarely come in contact with, right? Like, if we're gonna support dark-skinned women, we need to support and celebrate all kinds of dark-skinned women, exotic features or not. You know, we come in many different shapes, sizes, and even features. And that's what makes us so just natural. Like, we have different shades of beauty, different types of beauty as a race. And I think that's very beautiful. That's very important to know. And we shouldn't limit our beauty or what is publicly considered beauty into a certain beauty standard, you know? All of our Black, dark skin, brown skin, we are all very beautiful. And I feel like we need to get represented and featured on the internet and in real life with just a more positive light, right? So guys, definitely tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know, like, what do you guys think about this whole Ari Lennox, Tiana Taylor getting compared to Rottweilers? Like, it's insane. It's definitely insanity. And again, let me know, like, what do you think? To what extent do we as Black women have the right to express ourselves freely and openly? Where is there an end point? You know, when do we just have to cut it? Like, this is enough. We don't need to express ourselves too much. What is too much expression of self? And again, do you guys feel like self-expression that is based on triggering comments mean that we are exposing insecurities? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching, and I'll be back with another video. Bye.